So then we are back with the more understanding from the time of the second tabernacle services during the time of the prophets of Yahweh and the relationship with ourselves and these holy prophecies from the time of these holy prophets of Yahweh, indicating to us then the entire understanding of the future yet to come related with autumn feast. However, there is a section yet where the Messiah spent a couple of days with the Samaritans, giving us then 2,000 years of rulership of Gentile in the earth. And we understand what then the Creator expects during the time of restoration. Yahweh the Creator was very smart because He granted even time for the nations, the secular nations, to rebuild themselves. Because He said in the 61st chapter, even the heathens, they would understand the time of restoration and they would be provided with ways of joining then the restoration period. The reason why, it's because then the holy cities, as they come out, they're going to be served by Gentiles as they were during the time of Yohanan and on until 1009. We find ourselves in understanding the time of the end as per the instructions, where you read then the section in Revelation related with the third part of the ships. Try to understand what these means. We understand the Asian countries are then prominently the most important nations of this planet because they understand trade. And from these nations of the Asian countries, China is the leader of them. China is going to lead the world because each nation, when you read the 8th chapter, each nation should be doing trade with China, and then later every country, when you read 10 chapters later, first you read the 8th chapter and then 10 chapters later, you find every nation doing trade with China. The understanding of this is then there is this specialized computerized system from China and includes the stock market, includes the stock exchange, includes investments in the same computerized system. You have to understand the context of Daniel the 12th chapter. Knowledge would increase, and the only way you can make sure each nation around the world is going to be doing trade with China is via computer. Any computer in the world linked up with the Chinese system to come in the future, they are going to be able to do trade via computer and investments, and then it is already self-regulated. It does not require then scoundrelized people to making the best out of every system. These, in quote, vultures of our economic system, always destroying our economy. Those are going to be self-regulated. This computerized system is already self-protected in a package where every person, wheresoever a person is found, with a basic computer capability is able to link up with the Chinese system and then do trade. That's why China is going to be the largest trade of the world. When you read then the 8th chapter, you understand then a section of it related with the third part of the ships. China leading the world's market. So then, the bulk of production is already China's. No nation can deliver products cheaper than China. Forget it. They have the best in terms of bulk. The rest of the world, they should be then contented with the specialized products, specialized technologies. That's where the other nations, they're going to thrive. So then, we understand new technologies are extremely important, and then other nations, they are going to be linked up with the Chinese system. That's why Yahweh very wisely has decided to use China and its vast military only for the purposes of rebuilding, because it is part of the 61st chapter of Yershiyahu. The nations are not going to have their way anymore. They are going to be bound by the Holy Scripture from the Torah. Torah dictates how it's going to be the end. If they don't think so, only wait a bit longer. They will understand. Heaven and earth must be in line in order for the autumn feast to come, and then situations and events must line up as per the instructions. The time of the city is gone. Nations going to and fro to do whatever they want. The time of Nahashatan or Satan, from 1009 to 2009, they could do whatever they wanted. Those times are gone. We are going back to where we started, and it is the Torah, the instructions, and then understanding the time of the end and its replete understandings of this section of the prophecies as they should be completed. So if the nations, they think they can come together and try to do their own, not anymore. China is going to be the leader of the world's market. Read this scripture. But nations, they always can try to do whatsoever they want, however, later for their own destruction. Because later they're going to undo their junky works and they're going to recognize China is going to be the leader. There we are. United States, we are already facing a drop in imports and exports ever since 2009. There it is. The government tries then to maintain its monstrosity of system without privatizing. Not much employment going on. Exports drop, imports drop, and the monstrosity continues until the system breaks. We have only short 40 years to line up ourselves, then to take on when the new Chinese system is ready for the system. We are going to break our economy because the monstrosity of government does not want to lean up. And in fact, they don't give a damn because the government has so much money. Those people over there, they have sacked up so much money, they simply move out of the country in another speaking English country and then heck with the rest. That's the way they think. So then, since the monstrosity does not want to lean up, don't expect a great future. Because the Chinese system is already in place, perfectly fine, and already started because the Bank of China and the Citigroup, they are already linked up. Do a search in the computer, you'll find it. London already has a stock exchange regarding the yen or then the Chinese monetary system in their own. Very smart because they understand the scripture. They understand China is going to lead the world's market at the end, and the faster each nation can link up with them, the best it is. Because at some point it has to line up. In every bad decision a person does outside of the scripture in terms of the Messiah and what he said is a spring-loaded system. It's going to snap and spring back on them. China must lead the world's market of the end, no other nation. The other nations are going to remain as individuals, individual nations, being treated as per individuals when it comes to this Chinese system yet to be implemented. The Chinese, they are only waiting for our system to break. When it does, then they are ready to do their own.